Are you a naturally shy person that sometimes finds it difficult to speak your mind out loud, and at times it feels like you're being held back by your own introversion? Well, if you are, today I'm going to show you how to become a more outgoing person following just 4 steps. Boom! Cześć ludzie! What's up people? Hola, VIGO'S dad here. Welcome to another episode. On my last week's video, right up here, I had a test for you guys where basically I stated a situation that, you were to go to a party with a friend and last minute he would cancel on you. What I learned from that test was that many of you feel actually quite uncomfortable with situations where you have to be too forward or outgoing, especially if things are out of your control. But let me tell you a little secret. No one, and I mean no one, likes to be taken out of their comfort zone. Even those people that tell you that they love challenges and they love being taken out of their comfort zone and they thrive on this type of situations. No, they don't. They may go on TED Talks and they tell you that we're the best in these moments. But no, it's understandable. Nobody likes that. I can guarantee you that those people get sweaty palms and increased heart rate whenever uncomfortable things get thrown at them. It's a human response. What I do believe is that those people have learned to focus their energy in what comes after, not the feeling of being uncomfortable or the anxiety that you start developing. They focus on what comes next. Someone throws this situation at me, so I'm going to focus on how to get this done, how to go through it, and what it's going to come after, what's the result. And yeah, I do believe that that is very, very possible, and that actually that's how they do it. The natural instinct is to become proactive and not let their bodies shut down out of anxiety and fear. I believe that it's very important to be yourself. If you are naturally a shy person, then fine, that's no problem. But I think that the issue comes into play when certain parts of your personality start dictating what you can and cannot do. If you are a reserved person, but you can still go up to a stranger and ask for directions, or go into a uni class and raise your hand and ask the professor, listen, sorry, can you repeat that because I missed that last information that you said, and have everyone turn at you and look at you, and all of a sudden, you are like, okay, it's uncomfortable, but I'll do it. I'll go through it because I need the information, right? If you can do that, then fine. But what tends to happen is that very shy people, very reserved people, introspective people cannot bring themselves to break this pattern and to get the things that they need to get done, well, done. They are held back by their inability to be outgoing when they need to. So the first step to becoming a more outgoing person is understanding anxiety. Anxiety is your body's natural response to stress. It's a feeling of fear or apprehension about what's to come. The first day at uni, a job interview, or having to give a speech usually can, ignite fear and nervousness in most people. So the first step to becoming a more outgoing person is to determine if you're actually suffering from any sort of anxiety. Is your life being impacted by the feeling of fear? Do you feel, held back, or do you have any of the following symptoms? Increased heart rate, restlessness, having trouble falling asleep, feeling like you cannot concentrate. Do you have any of those? This is beyond my scope of knowledge, but if you feel that you might be having trouble with actual anxiety, then of course I suggest that you go seek professional help and get this sorted, because at the end of the day, then you might be needing a little bit of a boost, right? You might be needing to speak to a professional, or maybe you need medication in the worst case scenario. But it is very important to understand how much anxiety correlates to not being able to be outgoing, to be uninhibited. Step number 2, personality type. There are certain behaviors that can indeed be attributed to our personality. There's a well-known questionnaire called the MYERS-BRIGGS type indicator that indicates different psychological preferences in how people perceive the world and make decisions. There are 2 divided pairs of cognitive functions: the rational or judging functions, which is thinking and feeling, and the irrational or perceiving functions, which is sensation and intuition. It's believed that for every person, each function is primarily expressed in an introverted or an extroverted form. I won't go into full detail with this, but I will post a chart now, and you can pause the video for a second and read carefully what this is about. And I will also include in the description box below a link that will take you to the questionnaire in case you want to find out what's your personality type. It will give you a lot of insight into why and how you behave the way that you do. Keep in mind that there are also other things that influence our actions, such as upbringing, society, culture. Let's use my example for a moment. According to the MYERS-Briggs type indicator, I am an ENFP. That means that I'm an extrovert, intuitive, feeling, perceiving. The E comes from extrovert. I am a natural extrovert. I am outwardly focused. I'm talkative and outgoing. The N comes from intuitive, which means that I take my information mostly in an intuitive way. For example, I imagine how things could be instead of how they actually are. I prefer the big picture instead of the details. The F comes from feeling, which means that my decisions are based on my personal values, how my actions affect others, instead of basing it on logical reason. And finally, the P comes from perceiver. I prefer to leave my options open instead of settle. I see rules and deadlines as flexible things. You can change, you can alter a little bit instead of things that should be respected. And I will have a big tendency to improvise instead of following a guide, step by step, so that I know what comes first and then after. As you can see, all this is very fascinating because it gives you information on the things that you might need some work on. For instance, being a feeler, in my case, can be very natural, but I know that as a consequence, I can be very flexible or too flexible, and that can play against me. Step number 3, the 3-second rule. There is a book from a very successful writer, Mel Robbins, called the 5-second rule. She expresses that there's only one rule when it comes to productivity, when it comes to achieving your goals and to getting everything you ever wanted in life. You will never feel like it, she says. The things that you care about and the things that you want to do in life come easy to you because you're able to put in the work, right? But the things that you don't feel like doing, you will never feel like doing them. And if you manage to do the things that you don't want to do, she says that you will achieve everything you ever wanted in life. She also expresses that your brain will trick you, that any moment the brain is gonna go to autopilot and tell you, don't do that. That's not what we do. That's not what we feel comfortable with. And for this, she created the 5-second rule. You've just arrived to this party, the one from the test, and you get this message from your friend that says, oh my God, I'm so sorry, you're gonna kill me, but I cannot make it. Something came up. I will explain tomorrow. I'm fine, I'm okay, but I'm really sorry. I hope you're gonna be okay. After you get your little panic attack, maybe crosses your mind. You take a quick look around and you go like, I guess maybe I should talk to someone, right? From that first moment that thought entered your mind, you only have 5 seconds before your brain goes into auto mode. After that, social anxiety kicks in. You start thinking that, what am I doing? I should leave. People are looking at me weird. I don't know what to do. Mel Robbins says 5 seconds, but you know what? I'm gonna shave off 2 seconds, and I'm gonna call it the 3-second rule, because in social gatherings and in social circumstances, things are a lot more fast-paced. So let's say that person that all of a sudden you looked at here on your right, you're like, okay, I guess I'm just gonna introduce myself. If you wait 5 seconds, it's gone. She can go, smoke a cigarette, or some friend pull over to the side, and the moment is gone, and you go back to, oh my God, what am I doing? Ooh. So in my opinion, you only have 3 seconds. How does this work? Literally like this. Shit, I guess I should talk to them, right? Okay, 1, 2, 3. Hi, how you doing? Nice to meet you. I'm JT. So seriously, the 3-second rule will improve your life dramatically because it will provide you with something that is very important, which is experience. The more you do something, the more information you acquire, and the less frightened you are of it. So give that a try. And step number 4, get comfortable with being uncomfortable. Guys, I cannot sugarcoat this one. It is what it is. You're going to feel uncomfortable. Let me tell you, every time that I have to record outdoors and there's people around me, I get self-conscious. I get a little anxious. But I think that the trick to this is to focus on the end goal, not on what you're feeling. Of course, when someone is looking at you and you're a little bit tense, your throat is locking up and you kind of like want to wait for them to move on. But no, instead, in my case, I focus on the line. I need to deliver this line because I need this background, and I basically focus on the end goal, which is that I need to get this shot. If you need to ask that professor about, X or Y thing that you didn't understand, then don't think about the fact that you have to stand up and people are gonna look at you. No, think of the fact that you need this answer, and whatever happens, you need to get it done. Really successful people are not only those that are really good at something, but the ones that can work through their uncomfortable moments, the ones that can stick with it and see the end goal. And you know what? This is gonna be difficult, but we're gonna go through it. So in order to achieve this comfortability among the uncomfortable, I've devised a little action plan that you can use. The first thing is not to quit. Whatever you do, don't quit. And I don't mean that, one day you try to stand up and maybe ask something, to the professor, but you didn't manage to do it, so therefore you quit. No, I don't mean that. Sometimes it will happen that you're not gonna get the chance, you're not gonna be able to, muster the courage to actually say it. But where the quitting part comes, or the not quitting part comes into play, is when you say to yourself, I'm going to do it next week, I'm going to do it next week, and next week, if it didn't happen, doesn't matter, but you keep thinking that you're going to overcome this, that you're going to do this, and eventually you do. Because the moment that you say to yourself, I'm not good at this, I will not be able to ask, I might as well just, sit down and just listen, and then I'll ask my friend, then you have a quitter's mentality, and that's what you cannot do. Second thing is to embrace the fact that it sucks. It's not gonna change. It is gonna suck. Going through something uncomfortable, plain just freaking sucks. But have a friend, tell them about it, complain about it. This is the one moment in life that it's okay to complain that something sucks. But as long as you don't quit, then all is fine. The third thing is to tell people that you're actually trying to get comfortable with this uncomfortability. Tell them so that they can help you, they can keep you accountable. Dare I say, try to hang out with people that are trying to achieve similar things, although in real life that's not always possible. We have our group of friends and they are who they are, and not many of them are willing to, let's say, go to the uncomfortable place in life and grow in the ways that you're trying to grow. But at least you can ask them to keep you accountable. Say, listen, I'm trying something out. I need your help not to let me quit, or remind me that, hey, you said you got this, okay? I think it helps massively. And finally, recognize when you've made an improvement and celebrate it in your mind, because the brain creates neurological paths and connections when you do something that is uncomfortable, but then something positive comes out of it and you get endorphins, running through your body. And yeah, the brain can put together 2 and 2 and go, okay, we went through that difficult thing, but in result we got this, right? So let's celebrate it. Feel happiness and overjoy, and give yourself a pat in the back and say, hey man, we did well. Boom! That's all, guys. That's the end of the episode. I hope you liked it. This came completely improvised because based on last week's result, you guys were interacting with the content and you were posting your results and saying, oh, I chose A, I'm from Poland. And I immediately thought, that's so great. And I want to thank you for that. I want to thank you for interacting with me and from, playing the games that we play here sometimes. And as a result, it gave me this great idea to create this video about how to become more outgoing. I'm not trying to change you. If you are who you are, it's fine, but we know that sometimes some things in life are holding us back a little bit. And I hope this video helped you. If you are in that boat, if you're in that situation, that you can use a little bit more outgoingness to achieve certain things that have been holding you back, then by all means, use this information, share it with a friend, with a family member, and subscribe to the channel. I know that most people that watch the videos are not subscribed, which is fine, but if you're one of those, then click that subscribe button, and I'll see you next week. Thank you very much. Adios.